How's it going, guys? It's K Cars, and in today's video we're going to be washing my Jeep Cherokee XJ here after taking it off-roading. And I also wanted to talk to you guys about some more future plans that I have for my Jeep here. So first I wanted to give you guys a quick walk around of my XJ here and show you guys what it's looking like. Now obviously it's not too terribly muddy, but if you guys haven't seen my off-roading video that I posted last week, definitely make sure to go check that video out, because to be honest, this is probably the muddiest that this Jeep has ever been. And as you guys know, my Jeep Cherokee XJ here doesn't really see mud, you know, barely ever. So this is definitely the muddiest that it's ever been. So of course it's all dried up right now, but I wanted to give you guys a quick look at all the mud that's on my Jeep right here. So there's a quick look at the tires. Of course these are mud tires and they handle everything very well. So there's a quick look at all the mud that got, you know, up in the wheel wells here. All that right there. Just a little bit on the body here, as you guys can see. Not really a whole lot, but as I said, this is the muddiest that this Jeep has ever been. Most mud that this thing has ever seen in its whole life, to be honest, probably. So there's the front tire right there. Some more mud in the wheel wells. Nice chunk of mud right there on the hood. Not really much on the rest of the body here, mostly just on the tires on the sides of the Jeep. So there's the driver's side. Quick look right there. And not really as much mud on the driver's side body here. Same thing with the tire right over here. So as you guys know, my main goal with my XJ here is just to keep restoring it and keep it nice and clean. So I barely ever off-road this thing. My main goal for the past 2.5 years that I've had this thing has been to, you know, like I said, just restore it and minimize the amount of rust that it has. And as you guys know, if you are Jeep people, these old XJs are definitely known for having a bunch of rust issues. And mud definitely does not help that at all. So of course I definitely wanted to get this thing cleaned up. Now the underside really isn't looking too muddy at all. It's really just around the tires and the wheel wells that's muddy. So we're gonna go ahead and head to the car wash here, show you guys how I wash the Jeep. Then after that, give you guys a after look and show you guys how clean we got the Jeep. And then after that, towards the end of the video, I'm also gonna talk to you guys about my future plans for my Jeep Cherokee XJ. So let's go ahead and head to the car wash and clean this thing up. Alright guys, so we got the Jeep all washed up. Let's go ahead and take a look, give you guys a quick walk around of what it looks like here. So one thing I will point out here is that the tires are all dried up now and they still are a little bit dirty here, so definitely could have done a little bit of a better job. But one downside of using a self-service car wash like I was at is that you are limited with your time that you can use. So I spent about $15 on 15 minutes worth of using that actual car wash there. So I had to kind of rush and hurry. My main objective today with washing the Jeep was to just make sure that all the mud got off the actual metal parts to prevent any more rusting from happening. So obviously mud on the tires really isn't gonna, you know, hurt anything other than just maybe flinging it up on like the metal surfaces that we don't want it to be on. But basically all the big chunks of mud, I got all those off, so that shouldn't really be a problem at all. So give you guys a quick look underneath here. Tried my best to get all the mud out of the wheel wells here. Let me show you guys the front here. So pretty much the same deal with the front tire here. There is some dried on mud that's still on the tire, but of course that's not really gonna hurt anything there. So there's a after look at the wheel well here. We'll point out right here, there's a little bit of mud left over, so I could probably just wipe that off really quick. And then one thing I did notice whenever I was drying the Jeep off is that there are a whole bunch of rock chips in the hood here. Not really sure how visible they're going to be on camera, but if you're looking at the hood in direct sunlight, then they're definitely very visible. So definitely getting a new hood or just getting this one repainted will definitely make it look a whole lot better. So moving on here, the inside of the tires is probably the dirtiest part of the Jeep right now. Give you guys a look there. Now I tried my best to spray the inside of the tires here from the front, but as you can see, I was only able to get one side of the tire since, you know, the left side right over here isn't really accessible from the inside. So there's that right there. I tried my best to spray down all the suspension components here as well. And then the passenger side here, I will say this tire actually looks pretty good, you know, not too bad. There are some dried on mud pieces right here on the inside of like the tire tread right there, but overall I think this tire is looking probably the cleanest out of all of them here. Quick look right into the wheel well here, looking pretty good. And then I also did focus on the underside right here just to make sure that's all clean. I also did wipe off the bottom of the rocker because, as you guys know, this portion of the Jeep right over here is known for having the most rust problems right back here on the rocker. So I made sure to pay special attention to the rocker and also wipe it off by hand. Move on to the back here. Same deal with the tire, doesn't look too bad except for the portion that I wasn't able to spray, which is right down there, of course. Looking back at the wheel well, looking pretty good so far. And then you can look back here. I did also try to spray the rear lower quarter panel right here. Not sure how well I was showing up, but I think I did a pretty good job. I can't really see any mud there, but that's also a really common spot to have mud building up whenever you go off-roading. And it's also a pretty common spot to have rust issues on these old XJs as well. So, you know, overall, after getting the Jeep muddy, I'd say it looks pretty good for, you know, what we could do with the limited amount of time that we had in the car wash. Of course, if I wasn't limited in time, I would probably, you know, spray down the whole Jeep as best as I could and spend a little bit more time, do a better detailed job of it, and then probably reposition it so I could get better access to other portions of the tires to make sure that I could get all the mud off of them. You can check out the back here. Now, if you guys remember from my previous video where I went off-roading, this back, like the whole window here, was super dusty and I could literally like write in it. As you can see right over here, it is very dusty. So right now, obviously you can see it's not dusty whatsoever. There is a little bit of grit that I can feel on it, so I could definitely use a clay bar treatment on here, which I did do about a year or a year and a half ago. It seems like a lot of that grit has come back, mostly just on the trunk right here, because the rest of the body doesn't really feel too rough. Like if I look right over here, it's pretty smooth. Same thing with the doors. Now the hood, whenever I did the clay bar treatment, was actually the worst. It does still feel a little bit rough here, like there is some grit in the paint, but not as bad as the trunk. Now something else that I wanted to point out here is that after washing the Jeep, the brakes actually feel a lot more responsive for some reason. So I don't know if maybe they were just, you know, dirty and they felt a little bit spongy, but now they definitely do feel more responsive, and I do have more braking power, it feels like. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I also wanted to talk about some of my future plans with my Jeep Cherokee XJ. So recently I have been thinking about upgrading the steering system on my Jeep here. I'll give you guys a quick look here. Right now I do have the stock steering. So if you look right there, the tie rod and the drag link, those are both stock. And to be honest, I haven't really had like any issues with the stock steering system, but I have heard that after lifting a Jeep and, you know, doing the whole slip yoke eliminator and CV drive shaft, the next step after that is upgrading the steering. So, you know, I think that's definitely something that I want to do in the future. I haven't really decided which system I want to go with. I have seen that Rusty's does make 3 different options for an upgraded steering system. So an upgraded tie rod and drag link. I believe they have one standard setup, one offset setup, because I think some of them have like clearance issues where the drag link hits like the tie rod bolt or something like that. So they do have an offset steering where it's supposed to eliminate that problem, but they also have an over the knuckle system as well. So I think those are the 3 options that I'm going to look at. I think I do want to stick with Rusty's for the steering system because that's who I got my lift kit from. So I think, you know, sticking with the same brand might make it work a little bit better and fit a little bit better as well. So if anybody has any experience with the Rusty's tie rod and drag link steering setup, definitely drop your opinions down in the comment section below and definitely appreciate any recommendations that you guys could give me for an upgraded steering system. But other than the steering system, some other things that are on my list are replacing the rear bumper and the rear bumper brackets, along with the bumper end caps. Now, we do have all those parts to replace and ready to go. The only thing I'm waiting for is the driver's side bumper bracket. Now, for some reason, I do have the passenger side bracket, but I guess the driver's side is on back order for like a year, so I can't really do anything until I get that. You know, I could just not get a brand new bumper bracket and just use the old one, maybe just sand it off, clean it up a little bit, get all the rust off of there. But if I already have a brand new passenger side bracket, then I definitely also do want to get a brand new driver's side bracket for the rear bumper as well. After we get the driver's side bracket, we should be ready to go. And I do want to stick with the OEM setup. The new bumper that I have right now is actually black, so I'll just get it painted to match the Patriot blue here, get that installed, and then I do have brand new bumper end caps. They're just OEM as well, so those are going to look very good, and it's definitely going to make up for this kind of faded bumper end cap look. Now, if you guys have been keeping up here with the videos, then I already have replaced the front bumper end caps right here. Very happy with how these turned out. Look a lot better than the faded bumper end caps, like I mentioned. Definitely happy with how these turned out, and we're gonna have to make a few modifications to these whenever we installed them. So right down here, to fit the fog light in, there was like a little cover, I guess, that we had to just cut out right over here. I have an install video for that if you guys want to check that out, see what kind of modifications we had to do. But something else we had to do to clear the tires here was just cut out a little portion of the bottom of the end cap right here to clear the 31-inch mud tires there. But nothing too serious, just had to trim this little piece as well as this cover right here to fit the fog light. And of course, same thing on the other side here. I think it definitely completes the look to have a brand new bumper end cap and make it match the Jeep a lot better that way. For now, those are my short-term plans with my XJ here. And then something long-term that I wanted to do that I've been thinking about is doing some more rust repairs on the underside of my Jeep, because some of the rust is starting to come back. Give you guys a quick look underneath here. Now, the passenger side isn't as bad as the driver's side. Walk over here and show you guys what that looks like. Good amount of rust here on the control arm bracket right there. And just little patches of rust all around the underside here. So, you know, it's not terrible. And as you guys know, we did already have a whole bunch of rust repairs done to this Jeep. You know, mainly just the rocker panels. We got those all replaced, and the rear lower quarter panels were replaced as well. So we also do have some rust spots here on the bottom of the doors. That's another common spot for rust to occur on these XJs. And then same thing here on the passenger side. We do have some rust spots here on the bottom of the door as well. So, you know, a long-term goal of mine is to get all the rust fixed up again and get it undercoated with, you know, maybe like the black fluid film. I've heard that's the best way to go, and I think having a black fluid film to undercoat the Jeep with will make it match a whole lot better, because last time I got this thing descaled and undercoated, we used the clear fluid film, so you could still see like all the bare metal and all the rust that it didn't really cover up. So definitely I think the black fluid film will help it look a lot better on the underside and help it match the Jeep overall a lot better. So guys, that's gonna do for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing the before and after of me cleaning my Jeep, as well as going over a few of my future plans for my Jeep Cherokee XJ right here as well. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to drop those down in the comment section below. If you guys have any video suggestions for videos you'd like to see in the future, also drop those down in the comment section below. And if you guys liked this video or found it entertaining, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.